This place feels like it's been dreaming for centuries.
Even the architecture whispers Latin.
First time at Yale?
Yes, but I feel like we've walked into a novel.
You kind of have. Except here, half the characters also work on curing Alzheimer's.
You're a neuroscience student?
Fourth year, studying how the brain stores stories. Kind of poetic, right?
This doesn't feel like a library. It feels like a cathedral of ideas.
If I had a library like this in college, I'd have never graduated.
We don't know who wrote this, but its margin notes suggest they were designing something mechanical, centuries ahead of its time.
What if this was an early prototype for, I don't know, a code engine?
Welcome to Yale. We ask more questions than we answer. The greatest inventions don't start with an answer. They start with someone brave enough to question something obvious.
Is that how you got into teaching?
I thought I'd be a scientist, but I fell in love with how ideas echo through time.
Echo, like invisible architecture.
Exactly, and every learner is a builder, brick by brick. In New Haven, the ivy doesn't just climb walls. It climbs into your mind, your questions, and maybe your purpose.
They're building a whole ship? By hand?
By hand, by sweat, and with stories.
How long does it take to finish a ship like this?
2 years, if the weather and your joints stay kind. We're testing a new wind speed sensor we designed for low-cost disaster monitoring.
You built that?
With recycled parts and some open-source coding. Yale helped, but the ocean teaches more.
Future inventions powered by today's wind.
I've seen all 7 seas, but nothing beats watching Connecticut mist roll in while sipping black coffee.
What kept you going, voyage after voyage?
Curiosity, same wind that brought you 2 here.
You should write a book.
I already lived one, every wrinkle a page. In Mystic, invention is not just in machines. It's in hands, wind, and wonder.
I just time traveled to 1997.
And I'm staying here permanently.
Pez started in Austria, marketed as a breath mint for adults, but became a cultural phenomenon thanks to one tiny invention, the dispenser.
It's like engineering wrapped in childhood.
Exactly, a mechanical hinge that launched a multi-generational icon. I grew up with war. When I moved here, I didn't speak English, but I spoke Lego and mechanical pens.
And you ended up designing joy.
Pez is not just plastic, it's permission to imagine.
How do you decide what becomes a Pez head?
Whatever still makes a kid say, wow.
My grandpa gave me this when I was 5. Said I could only eat the candy after finishing my math workbook.
Sweet bribery.
But I never wanted the candy. I just liked seeing him smile when he gave it to me.
Some inventions are not meant to change the world, only to stay in your pocket and quietly change your day.
She grew up here and became a legend. This town must whisper magic.
I wonder what books she read staring out at this coastline.
Miss Hepburn borrowed poetry, Dickinson, Frost, Rilke, but she always returned them late, with notes in the margins.
Notes?
One said, "The ocean teaches better than school. Waves erase rules."
I want to be with those who know secret things or else alone.
I don't always understand poetry, but when you read it, I feel it.
That's because some truths are meant to be felt, not solved.
Tonight's theme, letters never sent.
I wish I could bottle this feeling.
Maybe we already are, in our memories, and this journey.
Old Saybrook didn't shout its stories. It invited you to sit quietly and listen as they drifted in with the tide.
This doesn't feel like Connecticut. It feels like Mordor got a theater degree.
And nailed it.
William Gillette designed this himself, a famous stage actor who also played Sherlock Holmes. Every door has a trick, every mirror a secret. You have to push the owl-shaped panel above it. He even built a self-pouring tea table for guests who stayed too long.
Sherlock Holmes meets Tony Stark.
I've never had this much fun learning about furniture.
Gillette didn't build this to impress anyone. He built it to tell his story, one stone at a time.
What a way to live, with curiosity carved into walls.
I hope someday our story has hidden doors too.
Not all castles are built for kings. Some are built for dreamers, for those who never stopped inventing themselves.
It's the first time I've seen this many stars without a telescope.
Maybe some things are meant to be watched, not captured.
Did you know this observatory was run by a woman in the 1800s, back when women couldn't even vote?
That's incredible.
She mapped variable stars by hand. I use AI, but we both look up, asking the same questions.
I can see the stripes on Jupiter.
Saturn's rings are real? Like, actually real.
Most of what we see no longer exists, but their light remains.
So, looking up is looking back.
When you're under a sky like this, all your questions feel smaller, but somehow the answers feel closer.
Maybe that's what all this is. Connecting dots, like constellations.
Speaking of stars, isn't Harvard Observatory in Massachusetts?
Also home of revolution, radicals, and the best clam chowder on Earth.